Hey everybody, it's Kate, the West Coast Paper Crafter. It is December 27 and I'm just popping on because I was in my craft space making some basic cards and I thought maybe it would be a good time to jump in and share some card making 101. So if you are tuning in live or joining me on a replay, I'm just going to show you a really basic card design where all you need is paper, ink, and a stamp. Well, and glue, of course, glue. We always need glue. So card making 101, super simple. And I'm going to show you how to do it. So I'm going to flip the camera around and we'll get started. You might want to close your eyes. It's always bumpy when I zoom in on my very messy craft space. All right. Looks all right. So I'm going to use some super fun and bright paper that is coming out in January during celebration. So you might be wondering where I got this paper, and because I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I was able to get this early so I can share it and show you guys what's coming. So this is called the Fruit Salad 6x6 Designer Series paper, and as you can see, there is a ton of bright, cheery, whoops, my paper's flipping out, bright, cheery designs that is centered around fruit. So I'm not usually a very fruity person. I've never, actually this might be my very first designer series paper. I'm just going to adjust my camera. I see that I've got some shadow. That's better. This is my very first pack of designer series paper that is focused on fruit. It's just never been my thing, but I think it's changed my mind because this year, this new year, 2025, I am going for bright and cheery. So this was the sample I've already made this morning. I used a stamp set that's no longer available, so I'm not going to use this one in my demonstration because that doesn't seem fair. I didn't realize it was retired actually. So I'm going to use a stamp set from the Unbounded Love photopolymer stamp set. This has got lots of different sentiments that you can use. I'm just going to pop a link for it in the comments if you wanted to take a closer look at it. There's lots of different things happening here. So we're going to use that, and I chose the sentiment that says, "Have a blessed day." So I've already got a card base. This is just basic white. I have cut one sheet of cardstock that's 8.5 by 11. Basically, I've scored it in half at 4 1/4 on the 8.5 inch side, and then I cut it at 5.5 on the 11 inch side. So if you struggle with making card bases or you've never made your own card base, I've just posted a card making 101 reel on how to make your own card bases. It's actually super simple. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is, well, that I'm going to do is pick a design. I've already done the citrus, which I'm really a fan of. I quite like that one. I think it's because it's the yellows and the oranges together. Let's do the pineapples, this one. That is bright and cheery. I love it. I've got a coordinating piece of pears, but I'm just going to use this pattern on the back side. So I'm going to grab my paper trimmer. Now I am going by the seat of my pants, so I don't have any measurements ready to go, but I will post them in the comments after I'm done this live. Hey Sherry, thanks for tuning in. So I'm just going to start by cutting down my designer series paper, and I just want it a little bit smaller than my card base. So I know that my card base is 5.5 by 4 1/4, so I am going to cut this. Let me think about it. I'm going to go 1/8 smaller. So I'm going to go 5 3/8. So I've just lined it up to my 5 3/8 on my trimmer. And then I'm going to flip it around and I will go 4 1/8. All right, so now this is going to fit on my card base with just the slightest bit of a white border, and that's exactly what I want. So that's perfect. Now, I'll move that out of the way. I've got my coordinating designer series paper. I'm going to cut it to 1 inch. and flip it around and cut it to 4 1/8. So now this piece will fit across my first piece of designer series paper that I cut. I do not need the paper trimmer anymore, or at least for right now. At least for right now. I might get it. We might do a little more cutting. We'll see. Okay, so glue. Use whatever you like. Oh, yes, Sherry, I did have a nice Christmas. Thank you. Hello, Janice. I know it is another unexpected. I have been getting in the habit of just doing random lives when I'm in my craft space. And I happen to be off work for a few days, which feels pretty good. So here I am, crafting, and why not? Why not pop on? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to glue down this first piece of pattern paper right to my card base. And if you are joining midway through, we are just doing super simple card creating. This is stamp, ink, and paper and nothing else. So back to the basics today. So here's the card front. Now I'm going to stamp a sentiment on this piece of designer series paper, and I chose a fairly light background. So if I stamp in a dark color, and I will use just my black ink, then that sentiment should just pop up and be nice and crisp and very visible. All right, so what I want to do is for this one, I'm going to try to get it right in the middle. There we go. And there we have it. So super simple. Now, of course, I got to close up my ink, otherwise, you know what's going to happen. Hello, Ellen. Hello, Judy. Thanks for tuning in. So now this, all I want to do is glue this down to the front of my card, and you can glue it wherever you want, top, bottom, middle, a third of the way down, whatever you want to do. And I am going to glue this right in the middle, or as close to the middle as I can eyeball, right? All right, there we have it. Super simple, stamp, ink and paper, and that is how easy card making can be. If you get the right pattern paper, then your options are limitless. So now you can leave it like this because it is white, no problem. Or if you want, you can add more color. Let's see, just rolling my chair back to the inside of your card by adding some layers. So I am going to create some layers out of, I think I'm going to do this other shade of yellow. This is crushed curry. All right. Oh, hello, Nancy. The name of the paper pack is, let me grab it. This is Fruit Salad 6x6 Designer Series paper. It is by Stampin' Up. It is not available yet, but it is coming out January 7th as a celebration freebie. So in Canada, if you spend $75 in my online store, then you can choose that pack of paper for free. All right, so I'm just going to make a layer. I always start my inside layers, it's just me. I like to cut them to 4 and 5 1/4. All right, so I've got this layer. Now I'm going to add some white, and I'm going to cut this one to 3 1/4. I've already cut it that width, 3 1/4 by 5. And then this will give me a nice thick yellow border, and it'll add some nice contrast to the inside of the card. Let me move this out of the way. So if you have another little stamp, especially a little fruit stamp, which I don't happen to have, it would be really cute to stamp on the inside of your card. So I'm just going to layer the white paper, and again, that was 3 3/4 by 5, on my crushed curry. And the crushed curry is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to glue that down to the inside of the card. Hey, Nikki, thanks for tuning in. I hope you all had a lovely Christmas, and I hope you are all still off work for a little bit, like I am. I'm going to enjoy these extra days off and maybe get a little cleaning done, but probably not. I mean, I should. I should. All right, so that's it. This is Card Making 101, very basic. All you need, paper, ink, and a stamp, and of course some glue. And that is it. All right, I'm going to flip the camera around. So that's it. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm just going to show you. I got a little Christmas present from my girlfriend's stuff, and it says, let me read it. Weekend forecast crafting with 0% chance of cooking or cleaning. That's hilarious. I would like to have a 0% chance of cooking or cleaning today. So we'll see if that's going to happen, but I doubt it. There'll be something I'll need to do. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in live. If I missed your comment, I'm going to go back and read everything. Hello, Candy. Thanks for tuning in. And if you are joining me on a replay, either on Facebook or YouTube, just say hello, tell me where you're from. And I will put in the measurements in the comments if you're going to try to recreate, or if you are going to make one of these super simple basic card designs. Thanks, everybody.